Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today, Engineering Work Integrated Learning, a strategic advantage for industry and community growth. Everybody's been alerted already, but just a friendly reminder that this webinar is recorded. We do have copies of this on our website at rmedcorp.ca as well, if you want to see any of our previous webinars. But if you are having some technical difficulties today, just send us a message in the group chat and someone will assist you. But if you do get bumped off the call, just use your initial link to get back in. I would like to acknowledge that our Brandon office is located on Treaty 2 lands, the traditional homelands of the Dakota, Anishinaabe, Oji-Cree, Cree, Dene, and Métis peoples. However, we work extensively throughout the province of Manitoba in the lands of Treaties 1 through 4 and the southern portion of Treaty 5. RMED respects the treaties that were made on these lands, where we will work together. We commit to reconciliation along the path to economic prosperity. Now, before we get started, I just want to introduce the RMED crew that we have here today. We have Bumalola Abiola Adatola, our marketing coordinator. We got Teddy Garvey, our project coordinator, newest member on the team. Myself, Eric Forster, economic development advisor, and another new economic development advisor, Devin Stikilo. Now, we will have two polls taking place on this webinar, introductory poll as well as a poll at the end. So Fumi or Teddy, if you don't mind getting that going. All right, and as you are entering in the poll information, I will introduce our presenter. Now, unfortunately, Carolyn is unable to join us for this webinar, but we're proud to welcome Rebecca Fleming. Rebecca is the Business Development Assistant for the Engineering Co-op IIP program at the University of Manitoba. Rebecca graduated from the Price Faculty of Engineering in 2020 with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, and she is also the former co-op student herself, where she gained work experience in both research and public utility analysis. She is a licensed professional engineer with a background in both structural engineering and project management. She's excited to be working with the co-op IIP team by helping the industry connect with the engineering faculty while also being able to share her experiences with the students. Now, without further ado, I'll hand it over to our guest, Rebecca.
Thanks, Eric. Let me just share. Okay. Everyone can see the slides okay? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, thanks again, Eric. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're able to join us today for our presentation on work integrated learning in the Price Faculty of Engineering. My name is Rebecca, as mentioned, and I'm the Co-op IIP Business Development Assistant, and I'm also joined today with our Acting Director, Megan Johnson, for today's presentation. So while our program is set up to provide engineering student support all across Manitoba, for employers, today's presentation will be a lot of information on the different engagement opportunities within the Price Faculty of Engineering, but we most importantly want to help you understand our program, and we want to know how we can best help you. So for today's presentation, we'll first start with some background information on what work integrated learning is, and then we're going to dive into a couple different opportunities available to you. So that includes our Co-op IIP program, some capstone projects, and the Operational Excellence course. I will also touch on a few sponsorship opportunities available within the faculty, and then we'll follow our presentation with an opportunity for questions, comments, or for you to share any stories. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to type them in the chat box, as Megan will be monitoring the chat throughout the presentation. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, my screen. There we go. Okay. So what is work integrated learning? Well, work integrated learning is also known as WIL. It's a structured method of combining classroom-based education with practical work experience. A WIL experience, whether it's cooperative education placement, commonly known as co-op, or an industrial internship, provides academic credit for a structured work experience. I will talk a bit about the capstone operational excellence course a little bit later in this presentation, but these courses also simulate work experience within the industry as well.
We can't see your screen right now, Rebecca.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me try that again. Okay.
It was sounding great though.
Okay. Well, thank you. Let's try this again. There's always going to be a little bit of a hiccup. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's good now.
You bet.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, back on track. Okay, so I'll just briefly touch on a bit of the information I talked about again. So work integrated learning, also known as WIL, is a structured method of combining classroom-based education with practical work experience. So again, a WIL experience, whether it's cooperative education placement, commonly known as co-op, or an industrial internship, provides academic credit for structured work experience. So I'll talk a bit about the capstone and operational excellence course a little bit later, but these courses also simulate work experience within the industry as well. So research has shown that work integrated learning not only provides better employability for students who participate, but also helps them succeed academically as well. These WIL placements are supported by funding from both the federal and provincial governments, and the funding can be significant and can really help smaller organizations participate in hiring students. So there is a governing body called Cooperative Education and Work Integrated Learning, also known as CWIL Canada. And they have a set requirement that we have to follow for it to count as a work integrated learning experience. So this includes that work terms must consist of paid full-time work of at least 12 to 16 weeks. And you'll often hear us refer to this as a 4-month work term. The work must be related to a student's field of study, and the students need to complete at least 3 4-month work terms to complete our work integrated learning program. However, they are more than welcome to complete more than 3 placements as well. Students must reflect at the end of each work term by writing a work term report, and students must return to academic study following each work term, meaning they cannot complete a work term and then graduate immediately. They must come back to school for at least 1 semester. So what does co-op IIP look like for employers? Well, students can, again, go on a single or multiple consecutive 4-month work term. So this means they can go out on a 4-month work term alone. So let's say during the summer from May to August, but they can also go out on longer work term placements as well for 8, 12, or 16-month work terms. Our office will follow the same process no matter the length of the placement, and students will be asked to reflect every 4-month period with the student work term report and also employee evaluation form. Our students are available to work throughout the year as long as it works within academic terms. So this means that they can start in the winter term, which would be a January start date. They can work during the summer term, which would be about a May start date, and they can also work during the fall term, which would start in September. Again, we're very flexible on start and end dates. We usually leave that up to the employer to work out with the students. You can also recruit and hire with our ongoing support using our online posting system called Connect. We can help create an account for you, and we can also post job positions on your behalf. Just send us over a job posting, and then we can get started from there. We also allow employers to follow their own recruitment process. We are not a rank and match program. This means that employers can do their own application evaluation and interviews. We also do not have any strict posting deadlines. So what this means is we work on a continuous placement model, and employers are hiring students up right into the start of any given term. We would, however, suggest you post a couple months in advance just to give you enough time to complete your own recruitment process. But we are definitely able to accommodate any last-minute placements as well. You will also have access to wage subsidies when hiring our students. Employers who hire co-op IAP students can claim a Manitoba tax credit of 15% of students' wages, up to a maximum of $5,000 per student. And then employers who are hiring a new graduate that has successfully graduated from our program can receive an additional $5,000 in tax credits over a 2-year period. And finally, there is a federal funding that we can provide information where you could claim as much as $7,500 per student. So I wanted to share a brief overview of the different engineering disciplines that we have in our faculty, as there's a wide range of specialties that students can choose to study. So our engineering students study one of 5 engineering disciplines, and this includes biosystems, civil, computer, electrical, and mechanical engineering. Our engineering students work in a wide variety of industries ranging from agriculture to transportation to manufacturing. Several of our co-op students have worked in municipal settings in the past in which they've helped draft and develop drawings, gather field samples, and conduct field inspections. So for example, our biosystems engineering students, they have the option to specialize in bioresources, which relates to agriculture processes. So they've worked in an agriculture environment before. And then our civil engineering students, they've frequently worked with surveying systems in the past and take a course that teaches them how to use a GPS and total stations. Our electrical and computer engineering students are actually a part of the same department, so many of their courses are intertwined, and they have course experience with computer coding and energy power systems. And then many of our mechanical engineering students are also interested in the manufacturing stream, where their coursework involves principles related to manufacturing planning and quality control. So again, this was just a brief overview of the different disciplines, and there are still many career paths that our engineering students are interested. But all of this is essentially to say we're a very large program with many students with a wide variety of interests. And if anyone would like any more information on the course offerings for each discipline, I'd be more than happy to send over the program guides, which go into more detail about the possible focus streams the students can choose. So today, many organizations are concerned with equity, diversity, and inclusion, and our program is really designed to encourage participation from the full spectrum of students in our faculty. We are definitely the most inclusive program on the Fort Garry campus, and any engineering students in the faculty who have completed their first year requirements, as in good academic standing, is able to apply. This includes international students, engineering Indigenous Access Program students, and students in our post-bac diploma program. So this post-bac diploma program, students are internationally educated and already have an engineering degree, but this program helps them obtain a Canadian academic credential. This program is for all disciplines, and they are required to complete a co-op work term as a part of the diploma program. So again, all of this means is we're a very large program. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I do suspect we are one of the biggest in Western Canada, and this means we have a lot of students to fit all different kinds of employers. So we also organize several promotional events throughout the year for industry to come and meet our students face to face. We have found these events to be a great way for professionals and students to interact, and our students really appreciate being able to talk to someone who has experience in the industry. We will be having 4 mini career fairs this year, 2 of which are actually occurring this October, and 2 more during the winter term. And these fairs are located in our engineering atrium, and you'll have the opportunity to speak with students as they go to and from their classes. We have found this a great way for employers to interact with our students, and some have talked to between 50 to 100 students during their time in the atrium. Our next event is the Co-op IAP networking event, and this is going to be occurring in late November. Also held in our engineering atrium, this event is exclusive to our engineering co-op students, and it really is a great way or a great opportunity for professionals to network with our students in anticipation for the summer 2026 recruitment season. And then next is our annual Co-op IAP Reverse Career Fair in January. Once again, this event is exclusive to co-op students, and it is one of our most popular events, where the tables are essentially turned, and students are the ones setting up their booth, waiting to tell you about their skills, experiences, and projects. And then finally, I would say one of our most popular and well-known events is Monday Night Hired, which stands for Industry helping industry reach engineering students directly. This is a great opportunity for you to come and speak to our students about any opportunities you are looking to fill and what your company is all about. The only expense for this is employers will cover the cost of pizza and drinks, and this event does run in the evening from 5:30 to 6:30. We are fully booked for this upcoming year, but we have started a waitlist for the next year at this point. And again, all these events are free for employers to attend except Monday Night Hired event. And if you would like more information on the events, I did provide Eric our co-op IAP event information sheet as shown here, and he will be able to distribute this following the presentation. So we also have a co-op IAP information sheet just about our program in general, and this summarizes most of the information I presented today. So along with the event info sheet, Eric did mention he'd be able to distribute these to anyone following the presentation. So that was a bit of information about our co-op IAP program. And next I want to talk about our UMIDEA program. So UMIDEA stands for U of M Innovative Design Engineering Applications. And so our UMIDEA team collaborates with local companies and helps them develop capstone projects that meet the requirements. This program is available specifically for our biosystems and mechanical capstone projects, and the UMIDEA team can help aid with identification and scoping of projects, application forms, and any legal aspects of participation. This program also helps build relationships with industry partners to help students in professional development and networking. So just a brief rundown of the program here. The UMIDEA program is, again, for biosystems and mechanical engineering capstone projects, and there are 6 project criteria that need to be met. So the first is that the design problem must be sufficiently complex. So this means that the problem shouldn't be that there's no immediate solution, as students will need to apply their engineering principles to develop their solution. There also, once again, needs to be a defined scope, which has specifications, constraints, and limitations properly defined. The design project must also engage in the student's creative engineering process, so the main project problem shouldn't be too restrictive to one specific solution. And there also needs to be a well-defined end goal. So this means that the design team can work towards achieving it, and they can measure it throughout the project to make sure they're on track to complete the final deliverable. And this end goal can be presented in the form of a technical report and a final presentation. There should also be a really strong component of industry engagement in which open communication between the student design team and industry partner will ensure accountability and allow for continuous feedback throughout the project. There will need to be a main company contact throughout the project, and they will be responsible for communicating with the students directly. And finally, above all else, the capstone design course is the key finishing component of an engineering student's education. We found that through past years, there are 3 factors that make the project memorable. So this includes all of the hours spent, all of the work done, and above all else, essentially the cool factor of the project. The students are excited to apply their engineering knowledge they've learned over the course of their degree, and being able to create an innovative design to a unique problem provides a really memorable experience for them. So over the course of the term, there is a level of company commitment that is required. And some of these I've already briefly touched on, but just to summarize them again, that the companies will again need to allocate an appropriate amount of time to select and scope a suitable project. Once again, our UMIDEA team will be more than happy to help connect you and help refine your project scope if needed. We again also ask that there is a main company contact who will be responsible for communicating with the students directly. And we would probably estimate that the time commitment for this is typically between 1 to 3 hours a week. And there is also a financial commitment of just over $1,700 for every project accepted. So each year, the UMIDEA program receives feedback from previous industry partners. And over the last few years, we've compiled this feedback and we found the following to be the most common takeaways from the program. So again, as I mentioned, the students are eager to be creative, and this can result in really fresh perspectives on real-world challenges. Companies will also have a direct interaction with students who could potentially be future employees. And we've also found that it's a financially smart way to solve real-world problems in which you could be having more than 250 person-hours spent on your project. The capstone courses could run anywhere from 4 to 8 months, so students will be spending a lot of time on these projects. And most of all, industry partners have gained such a positive mentoring experience from this program. Partners have really valued working closely with students and helping provide their expertise towards these projects, and students have really appreciated having that guidance along the way. So again, this was just a really brief overview of the UMIDEA program, and if you would like more information on potentially becoming an industry partner, you can reach out to Stephen Harlan, the program coordinator, for more information. There is an application deadline each year, which is typically the last Friday of July for the upcoming school year. So the next engagement opportunity I would like to discuss is our Operational Excellence course, and this is also commonly known as OpEx. In this course, participants address real industry problems through application of operational excellence and engineering principles and theory. This course is grounded in the Plan, Do, Study, Act system and Lean Six Sigma management. The students will be challenged to solve real business problems defined by industry, but this course is unique in which it's available for both industry participants and students. So just to dive a bit into the course structure here, there are 39 lecture hours, 26 lab hours, and this will meet the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt level certification requirements. The course will cover fundamentals of operational excellence, basic project management principles, and Lean Six Sigma management, along with other related topics. Both lectures and labs are during the evening, with a virtual option for industry participants. There are different methods of evaluation throughout the course, but the main way of the course is the group project component, applying the course concepts to solve those real industry problems. There is also an expectation that students spend a minimum of 2 to 4 hours per week at the industry partner site. So as I briefly mentioned, once again, this course is available for both industry participants and students. I believe we currently have 11 industry partners, where 16 to 18 partners is the typical maximum target. There is a 1 project per year per industry partner, where there will be a team of 4 to 5 students, along with 1 to 2 industry participants working on your project. There is an industry partner investment of $7,500 per year per partner, but this course does qualify for the Manitoba Job Grant as an industry training component. So again, if you're interested in becoming an industry partner or you would like more information on the Operational Excellence course, I strongly encourage you to reach out to the course instructor, Vern Campbell. There is also a separate presentation for industry partners interested in the Operational Excellence course, and you can definitely reach out to Vern for more information on this separate presentation. And finally, there are several sponsorship opportunities available throughout the faculty. The University of Manitoba Engineering Society organizes several events throughout the school year where there are different sponsorship levels available. Some of their events include the annual engineering orientation event, junior and senior high school outreach, a networking workshop, and a campus cleanup event, just to name a few. If you would like more information on these sponsorship opportunities, they do have a sponsorship package available on their website, but you can also reach out to UMES Vice Tech of Corporate Relations directly if you have any questions. And then we also have several engineering competition teams that compete locally and across Canada. Just to name a quick few, we have the Student Steel Bridge team, the robotics team, the Tiny Tractor team, and the Wind Energy Design team. And as you can see from the slide here, we have many more teams as well. These design teams work throughout the school year, and there are sponsorship opportunities for each team to help support their design work. We briefly talked about the wide variety of interests our students have, and these design teams are a really great way for students to follow those interests and collaborate with their classmates in different departments. Our students are, again, a passionate bunch, and these teams are quite often have a high amount of participation. So that is a lot of information about us, the different programs we offer in the Price Faculty of Engineering, and now I would really love to hear from you. We know that we have not been able to speak with many of you before, but we really want to be sure we help you understand our program and the different opportunities available for engagement and how we can best help you. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box or use the raise your hand function, and we'd be happy to answer.
Well, I've been trying to find the raise my hand function, but my computer is just not working out for me.
Okay.
So I'm just
Okay.
so I'm just gonna come on and ask my question if that's all right.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Um, so I guess my question is, with the engagements of the students in the co-op program, do you find a higher graduation rate than as opposed to another program that didn't have any cooperative placements?
Megan, would you be able to jump in on those numbers?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that the graduation rate is better. I would say students who participate in co-op have better employment rates immediately following graduation. And lots of them will often work with an employer right through their degree and then move on with them. But we have noticed a significant increase in the number of our students who are graduating with that co-op designation in the last few years.
Okay, excellent. I've got more questions, but I see Gary has his hand up, so
I'll lower my hand now too. Eric, if you look at the bottom there, it's under React, and you'll be able to go and see the hand up. Raise your hand. In any case, I'm Gary McNeely. I'm the Prior Learning Assessment Coordinator at Brown University, and I am very, very involved in ways and means, again, to recognize engineers' experience that they have coming from international. And so I wonder if you could add a little bit more information about that. And one follow-up issue is, again, is the accreditation that comes after graduation, because there's a regulatory body in Manitoba for engineers, and is there a supplementary certification that needs to go through that program to go and get your ticket as an engineer? I'm interested about that issue because the regulatory bodies are notorious, again, for being very ticklish about recognizing the work experience for internationally trained nurses or engineers, and just looking for opportunities for RMED and the rural communities and rural municipalities to serve as a platform for enabling internationally trained engineers to go through either the co-op program or the capstone as a way to, again, to be integrated into that field of study, that professional practice, as opposed to sort of going start again. So any more details about that, because it might be a way to go and actually enable more to be hired in rural municipalities than being sort of gravitating sort of significantly to Winnipeg, which perhaps is an engineering hotspot in Manitoba, but is to go and spread that expertise across the province would be a huge benefit to rural municipalities.
Yeah. So previously, Engineers Geoscientists Manitoba required international engineers to go through a program that we offered called the Internationally Educated Engineers Qualifications Program. And that was a post-bac diploma as well, and required them to complete some technical courses to confirm their knowledge and to complete a co-op. That requirement has since been removed. So anybody who comes here with an undergrad engineering degree can approach Engineers Geoscientists Manitoba and follow the same path that others would follow in order to get their license. We do understand, though, that sometimes international engineers have been out of the industry for a bit, or maybe took their degree a while ago and because they haven't been working in it, aren't feeling as comfortable, which is why we reintroduced this post-bac. So it requires them to complete a project management course, operational excellence, and then 4 technical courses at minimum, as well as a co-op. So if employers are interested, they could help support their employees by funding that post-bac diploma. There is not a time limit. It can be done full-time or part-time. So it's something where if you have someone who has been educated internationally, they could join you in an EIT position probably, and then use this post-bac to get themselves sort of up to speed on things that they may have missed, or to just have a Canadian credential, and then continue on with getting their PN designation from the association.
Thanks very much. I have a lot more. I have a lot more questions, but that really sort of gets the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Do you know how many international students you certainly have in your program right now?
Like just undergrad international students?
Internationally trained engineers.
Oh, so this year we have just relaunched the post-bac program.
Oh, okay.
So this September was the first cohort. So we have 3 students registered currently. But I would anticipate that will grow. When we had the IEQ program, we would often have, 15, 20, 25 students enrolled a year. So I think once it gets going, we'll have some more registered for sure.
Okay, very good to hear. Very good to hear. Thanks.
You're welcome. There is a question in the chat from Sue asking about some of the projects the students have worked on in the past, specifically projects for municipalities. And honestly, I'm not sure about that. Rebecca and I aren't really involved in those, but I can definitely ask those questions and get you some more information and email that to you if you would like. Rebecca, do you know of any projects in municipalities?
Not specific projects that I would have to do a bit more digging on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll find some information on that. And we can send that to Eric and his team, and then they can get it out to all of you as well.
I have another question linking with that. You have a civil engineering program, right?
Yep.
And there's sort of, is there any coordination between that and planners? And I'm thinking about sort of roads and a bunch of other little things that, and water management and just sort of other things that are very sort of a significant issue for many rural communities. Is trying to think outside the box about where that particular program can be enticed to consider something that is more rural project based. That would be a way to sort of include them at. It's hard to say again about the manufacturing, because certainly in the food processing sector, again, as a huge bit of business of that in Portage la Prairie, and ways and means to sort of go and get them into various other areas. We don't have too much wind yet, but certainly other electrical engineer issues that would be very important again for Manitoba Hydro, and moving those skill sets farther north, especially if Manitoba and Churchill are going to be the gateway to other industries or other countries, but also, again, the line that I noticed on the CBC recently about getting both hydro and all the way up to Nunavut along the Hudson Bay coast, and just sort of huge opportunities again, not just to go and get the hydro line, but a road to Arviat would be just another good way to sort of go and get us closer to the Arctic Circle. Just thinking outside the box in terms of possible projects that would be of interest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think what you mentioned there about like the water resources, the transportation engineering, our civil engineering students definitely take courses with that. And then a lot of them also work with MTI. So they work on rural projects as such throughout the province as well. So definitely there can be some comparability there for projects.
We have also had a number of students go work in Nunavut as part of our co-op program. So they're hired by the government to work on different projects. So it could be things like the water system is nearing end of life, and so they need to figure out how are they going to repair or replace what they have, because obviously it's expensive to do those things. And so we've had engineering students go up and work on these really specific projects, usually for 8 months, sometimes even longer, to help them out, because it can also be hard to get full-time engineers in some of those remote places. But that definitely would be an option for like municipalities themselves. If you know that there's a project that needs some consideration, our students are definitely able to take some of those things on. So whether that's like over the summer, or if you want to choose one of those longer placements, like a 16-month one, and have a student come in and work on a project, it's definitely something that they would be able to assist with. And we do have students who are looking to go outside of Winnipeg also to work. So when you're talking to any of the businesses, like we've had students working for McCain out in Portage. We have students regularly working for High Life, both in LeBrokery, Steinbach, as well as out west. I think it's Verdun where they have Gary's gonna unmute and he can tell me where it is.
Nipua.
Nipua, right. So we have students working regularly in those areas as well. And one of the things that we can do is definitely target students who are from rural Manitoba. So if you have companies that are looking to hire, we can find students who are from the area and are interested in working in those in co-op positions.
So there is another question in the chat box that I can read. So it says, does the program provide prospects for agri-food chain sectors? Yeah. So I'm not sure if you can expand on that, but our students can definitely work in the agri-food chain sectors, definitely our biosystems and mechanical engineering students. They frequently work in the agri-food sector. Is there anything specific you want to know about that?
Nazir, I'll just tell you that Nazir, he's coming from Italy. He's doing his doctorate in the agri-food sector, doing his
Okay.
in Italy, but he's at RDI here now and working on capacity building in the agri-food sector. Your project, or the engineering faculty at U of M again, is maybe a small piece, but an integral piece again in some of those agri-food chain sectors.
Yeah, definitely. Our biosystems and mechanical engineering students are definitely versed in that topic. If there's anything specific, I can definitely research a bit more and get back to you, or we can discuss.
No, that is it for now, because I was
Okay.
considering how it could integrate innovations in the system to control post-harvest losses, to make things efficient for the the upcoming SMEs in the agri-food chains. Yeah. So how this project could also enable the small industries within the agri-food chains in terms of innovations that can be integrated to improve efficiency within the chain. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the UMIDEA program would definitely, I think, be a good option here because the students are given real industry projects that they need to work through. And those programs are specific to biosystems and mechanical engineering programs. So I think those capstone projects could be a great way to analyze the efficiency in those systems. Megan, if you have anything to add on that.
Yeah, I think if there are specific companies looking as well, that a co-op student could fill that need for you too. We've had students working, so McCain at Bee Made Honey, High Life, and trying to think off the top of my head, but we do have lots of students working on efficiencies and things like that as a project for their co-op work term. So that's definitely something that they can manage if you're looking for something a bit shorter than like the full project.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So there's another question in the chat that I can read out. So Anna says, can municipality can hire the students for sewer and water system upgrades, park and recreation infrastructure, drainage improvement, or public buildings such as fire department, waste management systems, and any similar projects were conducted in the past under co-op contract? So all of those that you mentioned, they're definitely in the realm of what our engineering students can work on. So as I briefly mentioned, they can help the draft and development of drawings. They can help with some of the analysis work, like let's say for the drainage improvements. So those are definitely options that our students can work on. But as far as specific co-op projects in municipalities, I will have to go in and dig a bit deeper on that.
Actually, I do have a question here that's kind of a follow-up, and maybe it was just my misunderstanding, but if a municipality brings on a co-op student, is there any legalities that the municipality needs to worry about, or how would that process ensue?
Yeah, so I mean, the student wouldn't be able to perform everything, all of the functions of an engineer, right? They're still a student. But they could definitely get started on a project for you, or if you have an engineer on staff who just needs help because they have all of their regular things to do and they need someone to help, investigate and write a report about what options there would be for like a sewer and water system upgrade. A student could definitely do that. I would say any work that they're doing for you, you would want reviewed for sure by a professional engineer. But they can definitely do a lot of that fact finding, or they can figure out where you could be more efficient, or they can determine costs for a project and start doing some drawings and things like that. They just can't sign off as a professional.
Well, and that's kind of where my mind was going as well, where municipalities are being required to have asset management plans. Having these students come on hand, helping municipalities get their asset management figured out, as well as different cost estimates and everything, definitely be a big help. Well, seeing how there's a little break in between questions, Fumi, I'll ask you to set up the poll for the end of the webinar here, but just in case we forget. And Gary, that is a good point. That is one question that I was going to ask here. Just making sure that we know what's happening at the university for co-ops, making sure that we're engaged with our local companies, that they know about this program, if there's anything that we can do to facilitate further discussion. I'm even thinking as you brought up the topic of rural placements, sometimes it's housing and rental that creates a shortfall for workforce development. So even if rural companies are looking at engaging University of Manitoba for these co-op placements, making sure that that local economic development leaders, EDOs, councils are in communication with those companies to assist in finding accommodations.
And that's why we also will reach out to students who are local to the areas, because sometimes it's much easier, right? If they have family or if they have friends that they can stay with when they're working. That's just one hurdle that they don't have to jump, right?
Absolutely.
And I think we can definitely add you if you're not already on our mailing lists. Rebecca can get you added to that, and then we can send all of that stuff to RMED and you can farm it out to everybody else.
Yeah, we can certainly share. I appreciate that.
So there's just another question here from Anna. If the instructor of the program is an engineer, can he sign a project conducted by students? So I guess generally that would be within like our OpEx or capstone. And because those partner companies have engineers working for them, that's who would be signing off on the project. It wouldn't really be the instructor for the course. Because we would also want it to be an engineer from within that discipline. We wouldn't want electrical engineers signing off on civil projects and things like that. But if your municipality doesn't have an engineer, we could also put you in contact with people from our different departments, or with consulting companies or things like that, who can help be the ones to sign off in a PN capacity.
Well, I'm not seeing any more questions, so I think I'll just take this opportunity to say thank you, Rebecca, for your presentation and knowledge, and Megan for your knowledge and participation as well. If anybody does have any questions, that usually happens after the webinar. I imagine Rebecca and Megan would have no issues in being contacted or emailed with those questions,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
any of the aforementioned folks that showed up in the presentation as well.
I have one last one. I'm the prior learning assessment coordinator. Do you know what that is? It's moving sort of life experience or life learning again into academic credit. Okay, and that's one of my main roles at Brandon University here. It's not likely that anybody out there, unless they're a real tinkerer on mechanical engineering, working on a tractor since they were 10 years old, I might have some capacity to go and gain some credit. But there is there any PLER opportunities for PLER credit for the first year program? I'm thinking about calculus or anything else that they might know that would be able to go and jumpstart their start in the program. University of Manitoba doesn't really have a PLER program.
No.
Speaking, I'm just wondering.
No, nothing I can think of specifically.
Okay.
No.
So University of Manitoba does have a challenge for credit.
I'm not familiar with that exactly. So I'm not sure how that works.
Okay. that would be also very inspiring people, young people from the rural areas who they wanted to get engineering, and they are excellent in math or computer programming and the like. Who knows where they get it or how they get it, but there might be a way to go and jumpstart some of those the first year program courses that would lessen the cost perhaps and shorten the time to go and complete the first year anyway. So
yeah, if I could get extra credits for all the hours I put into fixing my grandpa's Minneapolis tractors every summer when I was a kid, I'd be all over it.
Eric, you may actually be an engineer, but at heart anyway. So, but no ticket, no ticket.
No ticket, but a lot of new vocabulary. I'll say that much. All right. Well, I don't see any other hands up or any other questions in the chat. So again, I'll just say thank you so much, Rebecca and Megan, and thank you to all of our participants joining us as well today. I'll be sure to get those attachments emailed out to everybody shortly. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to Rebecca and Megan. So thank you again.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today.
Right. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.